Let me actually start with introduction of today's topic and introducing myself as well. So today we are continue series of webinars about successful supply chain consulting. And today we will discuss how to develop your supply chain consulting, and we will discuss particular strategy. What is strategy, how complicated or maybe no, not complicated it is. We will discuss OKRs and what is the difference between OKRs and KPIs, and when to use OKRs, when to use KPIs, what is the difference, and there is huge difference actually. And we will discuss goal and the goal achievement, particularly in supply chain consulting, because this is absolutely different type of business and we have to be aware of it. And let me also introduce myself. My name is Natalie Lopachak-Akshi. I'm candidate to be a PhD. I hope next year it will happen. Supply chain expert. I am VP of partnerships at GMDH Streamline, and psychologist. This is actually where I also have background. So we will be discussing business, psychology, supply chain, and many different interesting topics today. So thanks for joining, and let's start. But before we do it, please answer the short question. So where are you located? Because usually we have partners and friends, supply chain consultants just all around the globe. And yeah, we are starting Poland, Mexico. Wonderful. Continue. Mexico. Oh, we have Canada. Wonderful. Thank you. Switzerland, Kenya, Germany, Moodish. Beautiful. Bulgaria, China, Vietnam, US. Wonderful, guys. Thanks for joining and thanks for sharing your location, UK, Israel, Mexico. Beautiful, beautiful. Thanks for joining. I'll do my best to discuss all of these questions with you today and make sure that you receive maximum out of this webinar. So let's move forward. And webinar logistics. Those who are joining my webinars, you already know that usually I prefer to answer your questions during webinar. We will have Q&A session at the end, but during webinar, we will have a lot of topics and different topics, right? Strategy, OKRs, goal setting, they are absolutely different. And if you do have questions, go ahead and just write to me in visual chat. I will do my best to answer them. We will discuss those questions. So please make sure that today's webinars were interactive. Okay, it's communication. So I would say like 95% of you, you're supply chain consultants. So we're in the same industry, same challenges. Let's discuss our experience. We will have a poll during this webinar. I just want to learn more about your requirements regarding this topic, because again, as I already announced, best practices of supply chain consulting, this is a series of webinars. I will have at least 2 or 3, depends actually on your requirements, on how many topics you would like to discuss, but approximately once per month, I'm going to have them, at least during the summertime. And of course, recording will be available. You will receive it after this webinar with email, and so you will have everything. All materials will be available for you. So probably that's it with webinar logistics. Let's move forward to more interesting topic, to agenda. So in more details, what are we going to discuss today? Long-term strategic vision to better perform supply chain consulting. So we will talk about strategy. Is it something complicated and difficult, or maybe no? And actually, what is the right strategy? What is the right strategic vision for supply chain as business? Supply chain consulting as business. We will discuss whether you have to set the right goals aligned with your business plan. And again, if you're talking about business plan, what is that, right? One more fancy term or something practical. How to better perform by setting time-bound and actionable OKR. We will compare OKR to KPIs. And instead of conclusion, we will discuss a little bit about how important it is to be client-centric in digitalized supply chain consulting right now, and QA if needed. Okay, so this is what we are going to do today. Let's move forward. And just for those who are visiting our webinars first time, maybe those supply chain consultants who hear about Streamline first time, and why I really love this topic and why I can share a lot of insights with you. We have supply chain consultants as our partners all around the globe. So right now, I will be sharing with you best practices and actually mistakes to avoid, which I just discovered while working with more than 100 partners, supply chain consultants globally, right? And guys, trust me, doesn't matter if you're a supply chain consultant in Thailand or Sweden or Poland or China, you are having same challenges. Really, our partners, supply chain consultants, they have same challenges, same problems, same techniques work for them. So I just really want to share with you because my personal success depends on your success. If you're successful, perfect, everything's fine, everyone is successful here. And my team members too. So let's move forward. And let's discuss a little bit long-term strategic vision to better perform supply chain consulting. And if I'm talking about strategy, you know, it sounds so fancy, strategic vision, strategy. And if I'm talking about supply chain, what is right strategy for supply chain? Usually, you know, but right now we're talking about supply chain consulting. So strategy, what is strategy? Again, first, supply chain. Sometimes if you're talking about strategic decision, they are very precise and very, let's use this word precise, right? Very simple. For example, strategic decision, is it better to find supplier in China, or considering all disruptions in supply chain, maybe it is better to choose someone slightly more expensive, but closer to someone local. So which this is strategic decision, right? They are very if you're talking about strategy has to be simple and very precise. I hope you agree with that, because again, if you're talking about philosophy, if you're talking about nice, beautiful, fancy, sophisticated things, yeah, strategy can be very complicated. But if you're talking about business, strategy has to be simple and easy to understand. Why is that? It has to be efficient, simple, efficient, close to the point. If it is not strategy. It is just, you know, waste of time. So same with supply chain consulting. If you're talking about strategic vision, it has to be very simple and goal-oriented. Will this strategy, and it should answer, ask only a simple question. Will this strategy make my personal supply chain consulting company more successful or less successful? That's it. So successful strategy, it's about success. And fail strategy, it's about not achieving goals or achieving wrong goals or achieving less efficient goals. So simple, right? Let's move forward. This is what I wanted actually to discuss with you. Now, there is one more thing, and I really want you to pay attention to it, because if you're talking about supply chain, usually those who are supply chain consultants, they are great expert in supply chain. They are the best. Usually, they are those who had top position in top companies with global brand names, or big companies actually in their nations, in their countries. So they are really great experts. And again, if you're talking about supply chain, they are experts. But guys, if you're talking about supply chain consulting, here we have two pieces, supply chain and consulting. And consulting is actually absolutely different type of business with different logic, different rules, different regulations. And you have to understand that becoming supply chain consultant, you have, to some extent, you have to start from the beginning. You have to obtain all of these skills again, because just to be only supply chain expert, great supply chain expert, is not enough in order to become a successful supply chain consultant. So you have to, additionally to being a great supply chain expert, you have to obtain a lot of new skills. And what kind of skills, and where do usually great supply chain experts do mistakes in consultancy? This is also something we will discuss today. Because again, as I already told, mistakes are same. Exactly, just 100% same mistakes everywhere. Doesn't matter, country, continent, doesn't matter. Let's move forward. Okay. I already mentioned that psychology is one of my hobby profession in the past. I really love to analyze how people think, how people communicate, what kind of mindset brings us to success, and what kind of mindset actually prevents us from it. Right. And I also like to have to do small internal researches. And as I already mentioned, we are working with more than 150 consultants globally, supply chain consultants. And it is easy for me just to analyze this market, this situation. So according to our internal research, 72% of those supply chain consultants who are not completely satisfied with the success of and level of business development are doing this mistake. So again, it doesn't mean that they're not successful. It means that they're not satisfied enough. So they would like to achieve more, which is wonderful. So let's actually see what kind of mindset mistake, or what are we talking about here. I hope you're interested. And before we come back to this answer, what is that? I will ask you actually to just in chat give answer to simple question. What kind of services do you offer as a supply chain consultant? So guys, can you please write, and I will just enjoy reading your answers. Go ahead. And until you give me an answer, we will move forward. So I'm kind of speaker, which is not moving forward until there are at least 10 answers from you. So waiting. Question is, what kind of services do you offer as a supply chain consultant? Software implementation and business process re-engineering. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Software implementation and business processes re-engineering. Wonderful. Other options, guys. We have more than 35 supply chain consultants here. Training. Okay, good. Training. More. We have 2 answers and 35 people. Help clients solve their supply chain issues. Okay. Inventory optimization. Okay. Supply chain optimization, re-engineering. Okay, wonderful. So you are precise. S&OP implementation, operational planning, S&OP inventory management. Okay, production planning, control, process mapping should be respected with optimization. Absolutely agree. Process mapping. This is, if people don't know what to do, which processes are supposed to be performed daily, in such case, we are on a wrong way. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Planning, process, consulting, inventory. Great. Thank you so much for your answers. And you're great actually in defining a specific service as a supply chain consultant. But what I didn't see from you any answer which says who is your client, right? For whom you are working. And if you're coming back, I promise that I will give answer to the questions that we discussed before. If you're coming back, what we see is that supply chain consultants which are not completely satisfied, they do not have precise positioning. Precise positioning to whom actually they are providing those services. Let me actually just, no clients yet. No clients. Let's discuss it a little bit. If you're talking about positioning right now, I am talking about being more clearly defined for your target audience. And let me describe a little bit what I mean. So your target audience, what kind of company you're working with? And the most successful supply chain consultants and agencies, they usually know what is their target audience. Let me give you several examples. We have partners, we have supply chain consultants who say that we work only with small and medium-sized businesses. We hate to work with large enterprise. At the same time, there are supply chain consultants who say we work only with large enterprise. Some of them say that we work with medium-sized or large businesses. But let me again be a little bit more specific. Why some supply chain consultants prefer to work with SMB? Because they have quick access to decision makers, to owners sometimes, and instead of working on one deal, let's say 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years, they can close several smaller deals, complete their task, receive their money, receive their cash, and move forward. Is it a good strategy? Yes, for them, this is a wonderful strategy, and they choose it consciously. Some prefer to work with bigger paychecks, bigger sales checks, right? And they prefer to work with large enterprise. But again, you have to position and you have to be visible for your clients. Your clients have to understand that, yes, you are a supply chain consulting company, agency, which is providing services for clients like they are, and you specifically know exactly what they knew better than they do. So they should understand that you have this experience and this background. Again, if you're talking about industry, when you have your marketing campaigns, when you present yourself as a supply chain expert, do you emphasize that you consult automotive, for example, when you want to work with automotive company, or food and beverage, or chemistry, or several of them? But you have to be very precise. Even more, just recently we had a communication with one of our partners, supply chain consultant in Europe, and we were trying to analyze why customers do not see him as supply chain consultant. And answer was very easy, very easy. Of course, after we understood what's happening. In his LinkedIn profile, he had ERP implementation and supply chain consulting. So it means that ERP is his first business, and supply chain consulting, okay, maybe when I have time, I can do it during the weekend, something like that. This is what customers see. So positioning is very important. And you have, again, 3 seconds to make that impression. Now, business model, again, are you working with manufacturers, retail, distribution? Especially if you're talking about large enterprise, their mistake is very costly. And if you're talking about small business as well, but it's a little bit easier over there. But for large enterprise, they want to work with those who is working with manufacturers or retail or distribution, or you name it, right? So they want to have specific experts for a specific problem. Now, location. Right now, our team is supporting a lot of supply chain webinars, online events. We are investing a lot in marketing. And again, to invest a lot means that you need several thousand attendees to invite for some webinar, let's say, right? Again, so if you're talking about, let's say, Latin America, if you're talking about, let's say that your business is in Mexico or your business is in Argentina, when you do your marketing campaign, will you do it for all Spanish-speaking countries, including Spain or excluding Spain? Will you do it only for, let's say, Argentina or Mexico, or will you do it for Latin America? So, and sometimes it looks obvious, but again, if you're talking about strategy has to be simple, precise, very, I would even say, simplistic. It has to be as simple as possible, right? And again, type of services. I would say that most of you categorizes really great. So let me just define a little bit, right? Like consulting, digital consulting, solution implementation, education and training. About different types of services, we will discuss a little bit later. But again, it also makes a huge difference. So let's move forward. Yes, one more thing actually from from my experience, the most successful supply chain consultants sometimes they are willing to not to work with some clients, and they are willing to quit some clients just to prioritize those which are their best fit. When you just only start supply chain consulting, it may sound strange, because again, if you are just struggling finding leads for yourself, it is strange. But if you're talking about building long-term and strong reputation, you would rather have one client with very successful project and great relationship for the future and great feedback than a client which is not 100% suitable fit for you. And at the same time, I know that there are supply chain consultants which are just unfortunately losing their reputation, and to start from minus is even much worse than to start just from zero. So this is also important point to mention. Let's move forward. Next thing, and again, do you have some comments or maybe some questions regarding what we just discussed? Just send something like smile or plus that everything's clear and we can move just forward. Next topic, which I want to discuss with you, is how to set the right goals aligned with your business plan. And again, if you're talking about a business plan, perfect. Thank you so much. Smile, guys. Thank you so much. So business plan. If you're talking about business plan, again, this is very nice and fancy word from MBA, and usually business plans are, let's say, like sometimes 10 pages, sometimes 100 pages, depending on how complex project is, right? And we also know that usually it doesn't matter what kind of business plan it is, usually outcome result is different. So again, let's take this essence. Let's take what is the most important. And if you're talking about business plans, this is how much you want to make by the end of this year, how much you want to put on your account by the end of this year. Do you agree? Again, just say yes if you agree or no. Yes. So happy to see that we have those who is actually who are thinking same. Again, let's be more specific. We are talking about revenue. We are talking about margin. We are talking about, again, how much we are making from our business supply chain consulting. I wanted to ask you this question again, but since you gave me very nice answers, I was absolutely satisfied with them. So let me just move forward and discuss several activities which can generate revenue for you if you're talking about supply chain, right? I really like your answers. I really like that you can really you can describe your services in a lot of details at the same time in one sentence. So wonderful. But let's see what else we can get actually from supply chain consulting business. Okay, I just want to show you that supply chain consulting can have different activities and many different revenue generating sources. So first of all, and what I would ask you to do after discuss this table, just send me a number, maybe 1, 2, 3, actually all of them, if you're using all of these in your consulting practice. Some consultants, and it is okay for those who just only start, they use only supply chain consulting as consulting. So usually hourly based consultation. And again, this is great, but only if you're using it as start of your pipeline. Okay, so you invested a lot in your supply chain education, you invested a lot in your consulting business, and we already discussed, right, that consulting business is a different type of business with a lot of different activities. So let's see, take most out of it. So supply chain consulting has to be just beginning of your pipeline. Next one is training and courses. And usually supply chain consultants have fixed, very customized but fixed price. And it can be step number 2. Can be, but not necessarily it is. We can talk about digital transformation project management. It is even more complex and complicated activity of supply chain consultants. And here we're talking about project-based price, right? So right now, look, we have already hourly consultation when you just try to evaluate if this client is okay for you or no, if it's perfect fit for you or no, if you get or no. Maybe you will need some partners to join you for this project. After that, you can have a little bit more complex, complicated project, which is training. After that, you can offer them digital transformation project, for example, right? Now, what else? Else can break revenue for supply chain consulting? Vendor commission. If you are doing digital transformation project, it means that you will need some solutions. And if you're talking about Excel, usually it is too slow. Again, Excel, this is a wonderful tool. I would say that at least maybe 70% of business is still using it. But for right now, it's too slow. We need to move forward. So our clients need to move forward faster in order to stay in business. Excel is not enough, unfortunately. So vendor commission can be part of your revenue, right? So percentage of each project volume. Now, what else? Implementation services, correct? Can you make money from that when you're doing this implementation, or let's say your assistant is doing this implementation, but you have to evaluate, can I do it by myself? Should I hire someone? And again, this is strategic decisions, and this strategy has to be aligned and has to be simple. Usually people, again, I was already saying that usually people think something complicated. No, it has to be very simple. Who will be doing this implementation in order for our consulting agency to earn this money? Can we do it or no? Now, recurrent commission. Can you have recurrent commission from your clients for customer support, any technical support? Yes, you can. And let me also share with you, I believe this is interesting, nice, and genius. Some of our top performers are doing this. So additionally to training, additionally to providing to clients digital transformation projects, they also sell their time and expertise as S&OP, a consultant or director in that particular business for part-time. And they have fixed monthly payment or salary or something like that. So again, right now saying how many options we have if you're talking about supply chain consulting, in case we structure and try to understand everything in more detail. So just when we have this clear vision, clear strategic vision. Okay, I have finished with this table. Give me answers. I'm sorry, actually, I didn't think about having numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if you can just calculate by yourself, it will take you a couple of seconds. Just give me an answer. Which revenue generating activity are you offering to your customers? Couple of seconds. Guys. Project-based. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Andres. Project-based. What about everything else? What about training, consulting, training, commission? Fixed price. Actually, answer was about a little bit different. It was about project-based. My question was about, do you offer all of this range of activities like supply chain consulting, training and courses, digital transformation project, licenses receiving vendor commission? Do you offer all of these, or maybe just one or two activities? Training only. 14 of them. Okay, if someone has even more, one or two activity. Okay, most of them. Wonderful. Consulting, training, project-based implementation, consulting, training, implementation. Okay, so what I want to offer to you is just keep in mind, some of you, you're offering training, some of you, you're offering consulting, some of you, you're offering implementation. What I do believe is that it is nice to combine, and again, our top performers, they are combining their activities, their efforts, their resources. So those who are great in consulting, but those who don't do technical implementation, they just combine and work as a team. Those who do training courses, they generate a lot of leads. And those who are doing consulting and digital transformation projects, they are closing deals with students who are supply chain directors and different companies, and here we have great cooperation. So be creative. Be creative in order how to communicate with other supply chain consultants, because again, we are not competitors, we are partners here, right? Let's see actually what kind of opportunities we can create together, because there are a lot of opportunities. And if someone is only doing courses and teaching supply chain, guys, there are so many opportunities for you to to make more out of it. Let's move forward. Yes, this webinar is, of course, is recorded. You will receive it, no problem. Now, let's move forward and let's discuss actually how to indicate that your supply chain consulting business is developing. And there are several metrics I was discussing with our team members, with our great marketing team, which metrics actually are the best in order to indicate business health, right? And I believe that in different webinars, we would have to discuss customer success metrics, how satisfied are your customers, how to check it. Because again, good business model is when you don't have to find new client all the time, but when you can support those you already have and have a recurrent revenue all the time, right? So this is customer success metrics. Network growth. How many new potential clients are coming to your network? Of course, PR and marketing metrics and financial metrics. Again, today I want to talk to you only about financial metrics, and I want to share with you some results our top performers have, just to show that we all have to move forward and grow. So if you're talking about supply chain consulting business health check, usually we are talking about three things: closing new deals regularly, increasing revenue, and increasing of average sales check. So these three are the most important. And right now, I just want you to think, I will not ask you actually to write it down, just think how many deals per month you or your agency closes and who is responsible for it. So how many deals? Are you satisfied with this or no? For example, can you close 3 deals this month or no? And again, for different consulting agencies, it is different. But again, 3 deals per month or 15 plus deals quarterly. Can you close this? Is it your goal which you would like to achieve? In such case, why it is not happening? Do you remember we were discussing that all supply chain consultants are great supply chain experts? You have something really valuable to share with this market. Why it is not happening? Let's think about it. So it was about closing new deals regularly. Now, increasing revenue. So what was your revenue? Was your revenue increased this year comparing to last year? Did you increase it or no? And again, if you're talking about supply chain consulting, I know that usually people say that it is impossible to close because financial crisis or some problem with market or something like that. If you're talking about supply chain, this is industry which is usually suffering from all of this crisis, and experts are needed. So I know that our top performance, as soon as some crisis is starting, they sell more. So question again, was your revenue increase this year? Oh no. If no, in such case, why? What is broken? What is not working? Can you increase your revenue by 20%, for example? So let's say that we almost closed second quarter, right, of this year. If you're talking about quarter 3 and 4, can you increase it by 20% or 30, 40, or 50? We have comment. Give me a second. I will write it. I will read it. And again, can we increase revenue 2 times? Increase by 50% possible through courses and digital products. Actually, yes, it is possible through many different things. Yes, digital products possible, courses possible if you're increasing amount of clients. By increasing your average sales check, it's also possible. I will share with you a very nice, interesting case right now. So increasing of average sales check. It's also a great deal, great thing to do, but it is only possible, of course, if those 2 competencies are on the place, supply chain and consulting. So when and how much did you increase your average sales check last time? So I do believe that a professional during his or her career has to increase paycheck all the time, sales check, because again, you have more experience. It means that you can bring more value to this market. Why shouldn't you increase your sales check every time? Can you increase it by 50%? Yes, we have already received answer from one of our attendees. But actually, we can increase even more. We have several partners who started to work with us, let me say, maybe like years ago, and I can proudly say that the deal which they close right now is 7 times bigger than it was at the beginning. Some of our partners increase 2 times, some of them have, like, let's say, like stable income, and some partners are capable of increasing 7 times. So let's say, like, before they were closing deals 20, 30,000, right now it's 2 times or 3 times more. So again, or they can start with something like really small and increase after that. It is possible. The question is, if it's not happening to your consulting agency, what is broken? Why it is not working? Because you're a great supply chain expert. There are a lot of companies who need your expertise and experience. Why it is not happening? Let's move forward. Right now we are moving forward to OKRs. It is next topic, and one more very interesting topic which I'm discovering right now, and I'm going to implement it in our partnership program. So let me know if you have any questions regarding the previous one, like what we discussed, financial. If you don't have, in such case, let's move forward. So objectives and key results. I'm 100% sure that you heard about this technique many times. It is very popular, but I have to say that it is popular. It really deserves to be popular. So this photo, this is my photo. I was preparing for today's webinar. I was still reading this book, and this is my hand actually keeping this book. It's on my table all the time, and let me only mention that Google, Intel, LinkedIn, Twitter, Uber, Microsoft are using this technique. And how can we use this technique to improve our supply chain consulting success? This is actually a question which I was asking myself. And before moving forward, I want to just explain what is shortly the difference between OKRs and KPIs, because actually they sound and look pretty much the same. And there is one huge difference. If you're talking about OKRs, this is technique which we are using whenever we want to create something new or achieve something new or achieve new level. Okay, and KPIs. This is technique, again, key performance indicators. This is technique which we're using to indicate actually performance. So present state of a business. So if you want to make sure that something is stable in business, and if you want to be conservative, we are using KPI. So let's say that we are closing 10 deals monthly, and we know how to do it. We don't want to change because our capacity is only 10 deals, not more. In such case, we will use KPIs. But when we have to move forward, achieve more, do something new we never done before, we will be using OKRs, objectives and key results. So this is main difference. Let's move forward. Here I have actually a practical example of how to use OKRs. I already mentioned that we use it only for new activities, only for new, let's say, like quantitative and qualitative changes in our business. And objectives and key results, it's a combination of goals or objectives, right? And results which we have to achieve step by step in order to achieve those objectives, achieve those results. And if you're talking about OKRs, we can have annual objectives and quarterly, and after that we have to break them down to monthly results. So let's assume that we have an agency somewhere in Western Europe. It can be Spain, Italy, summertime. Let's imagine we are talking about nice some of those nice, beautiful countries next to seaside. And let's say that we want to become a market leader digital supply chain consulting agency in a retail. Okay, give me a second. In automotive industry in Western Europe 2024. So what is important and what I really want you to pay attention to? Here we have very ambitious goal, leader, but we have very precise goal. Western Europe, right? We have 2024 and we have automotive and we have retail. This is important. Even if our agency used to work with many different industries, many different. If you are talking about growth has to be precise. Growth has to be easy to monitor. Now, so it was here we have quarterly, but actually I would say this is annual. It is not quarterly. It's close to impossible actually to achieve it in just 3 months. Let's move forward. Let's break those goals into projects and key results quarterly. How I will understand objectives successfully achieved. So what should happen for me to understand that I'm achieving it? Okay, so company revenue is 200,000 euro for consulting and additional services. So what I want to pay attention, consulting and additional services, trainings, maybe implementation, digitalization, S&OP consulting. Again, do you remember I told you about being part-time consultant in some, like consulting directors, S&OP director in some kind of company, having a monthly revenue, monthly income. So think about all of these revenues which can come to consolidate them, think about consulting, hourly rate consulting only as beginning of your pipeline, start of your relationship with your clients. Now, let's go to some other goals. Company listed in the top 10 list on review platform. For example, this one, right? But it can be different if you're talking about different country. If you're talking about Asia, China, maybe it will be different. 100% it will be different. Now, top 10 biggest retail spare parts companies are our clients. So you have to understand what kind of companies you would like to target, and maybe ABM is your tool, account-based marketing, right? ABM, completely different topic. I will not talk about it, but why not? Now, set the team to search key results. What kind of team is required to reach your goals? Do you need marketing, sales, additional customer success consultant, maybe PR or social media marketing assistant? Do you remember I was talking about strategy? And strategy has to be very simple, even simplistic. And here we are talking about simplistic. What are we targeting, and what kind of resources and human resources do we need to achieve those goals, to achieve those targets? Now, after that, we have to do monthly breakdown. So we have to break into months. What can we do? And for example, first month's result can be gain more, stream more clients, one of them from top 10 in my target industry. Increase consulting fees by 20%. Can it be part of your OKR strategy? Yes, it can. Simple, but why didn't you do this till this time? Why shouldn't you increase your fee by 5-10% annually each year? You're getting more experienced. Why shouldn't you convert them into money? Got 5 new reviews on Clutch, for example. So all of these, and again, 5 new reviews, maybe not too big deal to do, but again, it has to be done in order to increase your look how it works. Review increase your reputation increase your consulting fees, right? And here you have your strategy. So all of that is aligned together, but we have to think about it. And very often when we go to monthly breakdown, we will see actually that maybe this goal is too ambitious. Maybe we should change something here in order to achieve. Maybe no, maybe we will understand that this is not ambitious enough. It is very individual, right? So we have to work on it constantly. But if you don't have this simple strategy has to be simple. If you don't have the simple strategy, if you don't have the simple business plan is amount of money you will make by the end of this period. This is simple business plan. If you don't have it, it will 100%, I'm sure it will never happen. After that, we have weekly check-ins to evaluate the progress. And if there are no weekly check-ins, it doesn't work. It's only dream to have successful supply chain consulting agency. And I also saw how supply chain consultants after that just come back to work and they start continue working for some business, which is also okay. Again, maybe they will come back to consulting again. Maybe they will do it part-time. But again, what I want you to remember that supply chain and consulting, there are 2 different professions, the 2 different competencies, and we have to work on both of them in order to be successful in this type of business. Okay. Instead of conclusion, clients interested in digitalized supply chain consulting. Guys, I usually, instead of conclusion, what I want to mention that I do strongly believe that business need digitalization and people need people. So we have to be very client-centric. And by building this strategy, we have to always keep in mind our partner, our clients, who we are working with, have to be more precise and have to bring to clients exactly what they need. So probably that's it from my side. Let me check. No, it's not. I have one more task for you. For my next topic, can you please choose one of these answers? So this is a topic for next webinar. Please pay attention that there are several answers. For example, how to position your supply chain business, how to team to better perform, several different options, and one of them, how to arrange implementation process efficiently. So right now we are looking for more supply chain consultants who can do implementation. And if this is interesting for you, please choose this option. As soon as you finish it, okay, let's wait for 1 more minute. Please give me your answer. What will be the most interesting actually for you for next webinar, which topic? I think it's enough actually just to answer this question. Can we see answers? How to develop, guys, how to develop your supply chain consulting strategy right to person goal achievement. I do believe this is a mistake, and I'm so sorry for that. How to position your supply chain business is actually our leader for today. How to position your supply chain business. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for your answer. Thank you for your answer. And let's discuss actually your next steps. So we discussed your strategy. Make sure you do step-by-step build it. Expand your solution portfolio. And if you want to book meeting with my team, just schedule a session. We are here for you to support always. And a little bit about further reading, because again, supply chain, it's always about improving yourself. Please make sure that you read ebook about digital twins. This is actually what we are working on in our company right now. There are several articles that can help supply chain survive disruption. And one more. I apologize. I apologize, just have some disruption with the connection. So please let me know if you have if you have any questions right now. Good negotiations. Yes, I totally agree. Good negotiations actually is something which is really extremely important actually for any communication, any supply chain. Wonderful, guys. Thanks for joining me. I hope it was useful for you. I hope that you reevaluated a little bit your strategy, your thinking. Please let me know if it was useful. Okay, connect on LinkedIn if you want to chat about supply chain consulting. If you have any suggestion, if you have any ideas, let me know. Thank you so much, and talk to you soon. Talk to you soon. Very useful. Thank you. Thanks actually for your feedback. It's useful for me to have this feedback. Thank you. Absolutely. Happy to share with you, because guys, my career, my success depends on your success. I want you to be successful. I want you to have successful supply chain agency. I want market to know about you as great experts. And the biggest mistake most of our supply chain partners are doing, again, they're great supply chain experts and they forget about consulting. So again, supply chain and consulting, right? If you want to be successful supply chain consultant, you have to be a supply chain and consultant. Happy that you enjoyed this presentation. So talk to you approximately in a month and we will discuss next topic. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me.